Stitches of love we weave so. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we are super happy to see you here today. Now I have two crafts. I love cross stitching or working on with needlepoint and stuff like that, as well as quilting and making bags and working with fabric. So these two loves are combined as of today. I've been asked by some of our stitchery friends and some of our quilting friends if I would make a grime or grum cover for the projects that they're working on. And since the Stitch Olympics was just recently and we were all partaking in that and fun, I had a lot of projects on the go that I was afraid of getting the sides of them being damaged with dirt, grime, or whatever as I'm moving them around. So I have a quick, easy little project here. Shouldn't take more than like 15 minutes-ish. I bought a bunch of 10-inch frames to be able to go with my projects because I like having steps flipping the canvas out from each one. I can kind of have, and it's a good size to balance between me and my desk. I like to two-hand stitch. So what I did is I took the distance all the way around, took a little measuring tape, and I just went all the way around in a nice big circle. Okay, and then whatever that ends up, so 33, okay, and then I added 2 inches. So 35 inches, it gives me the length of the fabric here that's going to be able to get yourself around. For that, that's the length of it. For the width of it, it actually kind of depends on your project. For this frame here, it is very thin, right? Some frames are actually thicker. They've got like, there's some Q-snaps, there, as well as like my scroll frame here is a bit thicker. So I did, for the smaller frame, my cut fabric was at 4.5 inches, but for the bigger frame here, for the canvas, to make sure I can get all the way the handles and up here and be able to have any extra fabric up here hiding or whatever, I made it 6 inches. So it depends on what you're actually trying to wrap around is going to give you the width of what you're needing, okay? So just kind of think about that. So like I said, this one's only going to be 4.5. So I've taken my fabric, I folded it up just a little bit on the edge here, and then I'm going to fold it down again and make myself a little channel for either elastic to come through or some roping or some like, yeah, rope, I guess is what I'm thinking of. So I chose to do that for my scroll frame here as I loaded a long rope in between in the channel and then just tied it. So it's just it gives me the cover, but I'm not using an elastic. I'm using what I have here as well. So I only have a little bit of elastic and I'm trying to work with that. I do have a thicker one, but it's not gonna do the job unless you have like a super duper big project. Then I could see, doing, a big 1-incher, but even the stuff I'm using is a 1/2 inch and that's plenty. So for the rope here, what I want to make sure before it goes into the channel is I want to give it a little knot so the safety pin has something to kind of get adhesed to, and as well as I want to singe, I should have before I tied this, singe the edge with just a lighter or like a hot match or something like that. So okay, and it just kind of melts the fibers a bit so they're not going to be all frayed. Okay, and you want to do that on both sides. Just touch it, just with the flame, and then kind of make sure, don't hold it there too long or you're going to like really melt it and it'll get too hot. And then you just kind of want to pinch it quickly in between your fingers to kind of squish the little plastic bits together because it's just a polyfoam, right? And that's the same for, either elastic or even webbing that you use for like tote bags and stuff, okay? So let's sew our little channel here. We're going to flip and make sure we have enough fabric to go, I would use a smaller bit of elastic. This is a 1/2 inch. If you can go like a 1/4 inch would be fantastic for this project, but I'm just using what I had on hand as well as some rope, right? So I'm going to fold it there. I'm going to stitch, first I'm going to stitch the 2 sides together. Sorry, that's where I went wrong. There we go. So these 2 sides together, and we'll make ourselves a little seam. And then we're going to zigzag that edge because we don't want it to, that's going to be on the inside of our project here. And we don't want that to like get all frayedy. So we'll just a little zigzag edge on that one. Okay, so first let's flip the little edges out. come underneath. Make sure we've got the straight stitch on. Yes, we do. Kind of give it about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay. And then I'm going to change it to a zigzag stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to take each raw edge, lay it flat, and just going to zigzag across, because as your wear and tear, as you're coming in and out of with your project, it's just, you're just going to get little strings everywhere, and you don't want that on your project. Okay, so come up to, I wouldn't go straight to the top, the very top, because you may just kind of get everything all jammed down in the center. Just kind of skip down like 1/4 inch or something, because that's all going to be hiding under in a tunnel anyways, right? So just go right across the edge a little bit from the fabric, and a little bit on the outside, just kind of coasting over the edge so the fray is much less to deal with. And we'll do that on the other side. See, it tidies up nicely. If you have an serger or an overlocker, you can toss that right through there real quick. You could also do the same for the outside edges and then just fold it down once and make a channel, right? What we use, what we have. Some people may have a drastic amount of extra elastic from, you know, those days when we really needed them. And then when we go to press this, we'll make sure that that is laying flat in that direction, and then laying this way, pressing it, and then that gets a flip, and we make our little channel. Okay. And that's a good place to start and stop. If you needed to piece your material, you would do this in the same way. If you need to make like a long one, like I had to do for the scroll frame, I had to make a longer piece. It was like 63 or something inches. So I did that as a piece, and then I ended up stitching this one down flat, so I knew there was going to be no movement when I went to go feed the elastic or the rope through. Okay. So let's give this, oops, that went to sleep on me. Give that a little press. Just a little bit, just to fold over to, we're going to tuck that in anyways. And then here. Okay. That didn't compress very well. Let's try that again. There. And then we're just going to fold down and make a little channel. And we're just going to leave enough of a gap to be able to feed the elastic in or feed the rope in the one direction and then come around the other end. Okay. So you can pin this, or you can just flip it and eyeball it. We're not building a piano. We're just, you know, putting a little grime cover on our projects to keep them nice and safe. So I'm going to drop the needle, change myself back to a straight stitch, because I'm notorious for that, of not. And we're going to leave ourselves a nice space channel-wise. Do a little back stitch when we come to the start, and then just keep on trucking. And because these are usually made with cottons or washable fabrics, you can just toss them right in the wash if you happen to get anything on them. Or I've been leaning them up against things and not realizing, you know, that you know, the dog is brushing past them. I was like, whoa, wait a second, how'd that get there? You know, oh, not realizing how easy those, you know, projects that were taking so long and to complete. That takes so long to complete. Not that we're taking so long. I call myself out there. We want to protect them. That's what I'm trying to get there. Alright, now we're going to flip and make another channel on the other side. Take that and then just flip it. So we have a nice little channel to put our elastic or our rope in, or elastic rope. There, that is a thing too. Having a good week. It's been actually really lovely and sunny and joyous here on the east coast of Nova Scotia, province of Nova Scotia. So we've had some lovely weather. It's been misty and foggy like in the mornings. Nice and sunny, and warms up quickly. It's not even, but that's okay. Right, now we're just going to leave another gap. So we have those two little pockets to be able to thread through, okay? Now, for the rope one, like I said, I tied a knot on the one end, okay? And what you do is you just kind of poke the safety pin through the knot, not to pull it apart, but just to kind of hold it. And then that's going to be your feed guide, okay? You just come in, whether you're a lefty or a righty, you just come into the channel and you just kind of push. You can feel the pin head, the safety pin head. So you're just kind of pushing the fabric down on either side of it. So you're gathering, you're like a super duper duper pleating, and then you're pulling it. So you're taking all that distance that you just kind of scooted up in the fabric, taking it over with the rope. Okay, so you're just kind of scooching it down the needle, the safety pin, sorry, and you just kind of, you know, a few times, and then pull a few times. You're just feeding it through. You can feel how it slides between the fabric, okay? And it doesn't take very long. And this would be a great project to do with somebody who's maybe just starting off stitching, whether some sort of needle point or cross stitching. This would be a good project to do with them. Okay, and then you're just going to pull it out. And I did long enough tail so I can tie it and tuck it. Okay, and you just kind of want to pull that out. And then you do the same principle for the elastic. Okay, but I found with the elastic, to be on the side of caution, you stick another safety pin on the other end, only for the fact so it doesn't get lost if you were to pull, right? Because you're doing the rope longer than it needs to, but you're doing the elastic about as half as what you need to. Okay, so you just do the same thing. Feed it in the channel. Put the little safety pin through a little bit, but enough so it's not going to tear if you happen to like come over like a bump or something. Okay, and then just scooch it down on the safety pin and then pull. Scooch it down on the safety pin and then pull to the side. Okay, and that's the reason I didn't want it to get lost in there. That's the reason why I put that there, okay, on the end. You don't use it though. Okay. And then once you get to the other end, you're just going to seal it up. I'll just pop this off here. Okay. Just seal up where the gap was, where you fed the fabric through, or the elastic through, or the rope through, and then your project is complete, whether it's this one, the elastic one, or the one we just tie. Like I said, I left enough of a tie for it, so you can just kind of slip it off on the one side and then slip it back on. Like, it's super easy. So whether you have elastic or don't, this project is still doable within your capabilities. So, I remember to take your measurements. So this was 20 across, 10 down, 20 across, 10 up. So 30, 30 equals 60. I gave it an extra couple inches for the fabric width to be able to come around. Made the little channel, slipped it through. Bob's your uncle. I hope you make one. And I have more to make because I have quite a few hoops. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. And big hugs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.